All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another video. All boxing everything. Make sure y'all subscribe. All right, so as we get closer to this fight, there's a few videos I want to do, talking about this one, as far as what could happen in the ring and just kind of matching these guys up because, yeah, man, we're getting closer, man. We're about a week out now, man. I can't even believe it. July 29th is right around the corner. And just like every hardcore boxing fan, I'm ready to see Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford finally get it in. Get in there for undisputed at welterweight, man. So, yeah, I'm hyped up just like the next fan. And, that's what I wanted to talk about in this video, man, as far as like the hype behind this fight and how everybody's hyped up for this one. Like the promotion to this fight, to some people, they make it seem like it's non-existent. And that might be, it might be like that just a little bit, but I think we're in kind of a different time now with how fights are promoted. Like you really won't see too many TV ads now. Most of the promotion for boxing is done through YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and all these different social medias, and like streaming apps. And with the way fights are streamed now, it's not really going to be promoted on TV. You'll see it more so on like I said, on social media ads, and then you'll be surprised by the numbers that these fights can do. Look at Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, right? So I think with a fight like Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, I think the way it's being promoted is okay. I think it is fine, especially when you're looking at the two personalities of these fighters, and I think it can sell off their accomplishments and, their positions in boxing, I know we're in a time, like I said, with boxing versus MMA. It makes, MMA can kind of make boxing look a little, it can kind of make you look at it a little bit different because, overall, yeah, MMA, they put on like these juicy cards, you know what I mean? They put together these big cards where it's just like nonstop matchup after matchup after matchup, where some fights with boxing, it's just the main attraction, right? So with boxing competing with MMA in that regard, it does kind of make boxing look just a little inferior to it. But when it comes to a fight like this, I think it's selling itself. And the one thing that really makes this fight, to me, even more hyped up, like the Manny and Floyd. Like Manny and Floyd, that was a fight everybody wanted to see. But to me, they didn't really need each other. Like Floyd and Manny, they were already titans in their own right. So it was just kind of like a cap off, but these two guys right here really do need each other. Like the way they been coming up in their careers and with the accomplishments they've had along the way, but still not having like these big names, it's different. They do need each other. And being in the welterweight division next to each other, side by side for about 5 years since Terence Crawford been in the division. Yeah, so they both been at 147 for about 5 years now, just fighting everybody else except each other, And at the same time, like with Spence, he's been in the division. He hasn't gone up and down like Floyd has or even like Manny has. He's just been here getting all these other belts while this other guy's been defending his one belt, knocking everybody else out. He's been fighting. It's like, this fight is destined to happen. It has to happen. They can't go off. They can't go off their separate ways and not make this fight happen. It's going to do something to their legacy. So that's why, to me, with everything that's riding on this fight, not much has to be said, And the number one thing I say, that's why I titled this video that, is the respect here. The respect that's being shown and the respect these two show the sport of boxing, to me, is the best promotion. I think that's the best promotion. That's what's really been getting me hyped up for this fight. Like the way Errol Spence is training for this fight and the way Terence Crawford is training for this fight really is showing like the respect for each other. And that respect just makes you say, wow, I got to see this fight because they're really taking each other seriously. Deep down, they really know how good the other guy is. Now, there was a little bit of minor trash talk here and there between, even Derek James and Bud, or Bud and Spence. They're just showing up, creating a little bit of banner for creating banner and a little bit of laughs for, the press conference. That's all, smoking on Bud and the fish fry and all that. All that's just little talk, But deep down with these two, they're not resorting to pushing and shoving and, sneaking in punches and pushing people off the ledge like that, or, throwing chairs. They're not doing any of that because they respect each other. They know what each guy is made of. Like when you look at Bud and how he talks, his demeanor, he's a guy you want to take seriously. I put him in that category with guys of competitive guys like Andre Ward and how you seen like Evander Holyfield and those guys back in the day whenever they approach a fight and they approach another opponent before the fight, you don't want to mess with that guy. You don't want to push it. You just want to see what they offer. So when you see that type of energy with that guy, it always makes you say, dang, what keeps him going? Like, he looks small, but how is he going in these fights and knocking all these guys out, right? There's something about him. So that's how I kind of picture Errol thinking about it. It's like, man, this guy, okay, I talk about his resume, but wow, like, if he's not that good, why has nobody else, knocked him out? Like, why hasn't Porter knocked him out? Or why wasn't Kell Brook able to take him the distance? Like, how did he knock all of these guys out? Well, whatever it is, I need to go prepare for it. I need to make sure I can knock him out of his place, because he's been on this level for so long. He's 3 division world champion, undisputed at 140. I can talk about the resume, but there is no quitting this guy, though. Like, if he wasn't that good, I mean, he would have lost a long time ago, right? So that's kind of how I picture Spence thinking about it deep down, like mentally. You have to kind of question these things, and then you have to say, okay, we have to make sure that we can prepare to break him because he's not going to go down with one punch, right? And then you got Bud on this side who's looking at Errol Spence. You might say, oh, he's only fought in one division, but he's taken his belts from 3 legit world champions, right? Kell Brook went overseas to fight Kell Brook. Took a lot of heat from the fans there. He was able to go overseas and take that belt, beat their champion down, and then fight a dogfight with Sean Porter for 12 rounds, and then come back after a detached retina and the car accident and knock out a big, strong fighter in your Dennis Ugas, who's coming off a Manny Pacquiao win, right? So Terence Crawford, he's taking all that into, he's factoring all of that. He's taking all that into consideration and saying, man, like, how do I stop this guy from punching? Like, from round 1 to 12, he's still punching with the same intensity. And sometimes he gets stronger in the later rounds. How do I slow this guy down? So they're not wasting their time trying to think of the best lines. Like, Errol, he's just natural with that. You can see, like, Errol, he's not really, like, taking the time to write these lines. Nobody's writing these lines for him. He's not creating any, like, banner for these or scripts for these press conferences. He's just coming up with that stuff off the fly. That's the type of joker he is, But when it comes down to the fight, all of their energy is being put into this fight. That's why, like, you can see the energy, like, even when they're quiet and they're just sitting there, it gets you hyped because it's like, oh, man, like, what's this guy thinking about the other guy? Like they're already in that mode where they're thinking about how I'm going to break this guy. That's Errol's mindset. He likes to break guys and break their will and break their eye socket. So it's like he's taking that approach where everything he's saying is just banner, but when he's looking at Bud, when he's hitting that heavy bag, in his mind is him breaking Bud's ribs and breaking Bud's jaw or whatever he can break on Bud and knock him out. And then you got Terence Crawford on the other side ready to make him the 11th knockout, right? So and that's the thing about me, I'm a hardcore fan. Once you think of boxing that way and you've known for so many years, like, what a champion is and what makes these champions tick, when great champions collide like this, you already get into that mind frame where you can almost, like, promote it yourself. Like, the respect is enough. That's why I keep saying, like, the respect is enough promotion for you, because they've done so much and now they're not wasting it with a bunch of cheap talk. Now they're in the gyms, blood, sweat, and tears, preparing, coming up with the best game plans and, studying their opponents with the best camps to give you the best fight. And that's what I want sometimes. Like I said, sometimes the fights with all the pre-trash talk and the shoving matches, they don't turn out to be that good. But the ones like this, the ones where they're holding their breath and they're saving that trash talk, they're saving that energy for the actual fight because they respect their opponents, these are the ones that turn into the best fights, like a Sugar Ray Leonard and a Thomas Hearns, because they're thinking about what their opponent can endure, right? Like, Errol Spence is probably thinking about, okay, what if he withstands my best punches in the first half of the fight? Or what if I drop him in round 6 and he comes back stronger? He comes back stronger than ever and I start to get tired or something like that, So he's thinking of different ways to neutralize Crawford or break him down. The same goes for Crawford. You know, Crawford's thinking about, okay, how am I gonna get my respect? How am I gonna get my reach off if he's staying in my chest for the next 12 rounds? You know? So yeah, that's what it is to me. Sometimes respect is the best promotion to me, because when I see two opponents just taking their times to, you know, put on, when they're taking their times to put in good work in the gym and, you know, not waste their time trash talking, and then they're just really focused in, and you can see it in their face and you can hear it in their tone in these interviews. That's the best promotion for a fight. Now you're saying, oh man, like, I don't know what to expect from this guy. See, because this guy's not trash talking. You know, the quiet guys, you know, they tend to be the killers in there, like Spence and Crawford, even how Manny Pacquiao was. You know, those guys, they'll turn that niceness off when they get in there and they're ready to kill. And that's how Spencer takes his approach. Bud takes his approach the same way. You know, Bud, he speaks with a lot of confidence. I was just thinking about that today too, man, after, you know, I got back in. I said, you know, I was asking myself, I was like, man, like, can I see Bud down on the canvas and not getting up just because of the way he's so confident and the way he talks? Like, can I see Bud just laying there or folding like you've seen some of these other guys in the past? Or can you see him not try in a round, like just trailing on the cards and never finding a way to make an adjustment in that fight? Or Errol Spence, can I see him like slowing down and becoming gun shy against a Terence Crawford? Can I see him frustrated to the point where, you know, he's just sitting back letting Bud uncomfortably outbox him at some point? No, I can't see that from either of these guys. That's why I want to see who has that just that one little thing in them that can make that guy get that respect at some point in this fight. You know, who has that can make this just turn around in this fight? And that's why it needs to happen, man. That's why it needs to happen. See, when it came down to Floyd and Manny, it was like a barbershop talk fight at some point, you know, where we were like, oh, Floyd's going to win because he's a better boxer. Oh, Manny can win because he can outspeed him and, you know, he'll touch him up with that left hand. You know, it came to that point where it was just like, oh, if it happens, it happens. I don't care. They've done so much alone where they're great fighters in their own respect. But Spence and Crawford, this is the fight that can make them. I won't even say break them, because at this point, we know whenever they put on that good performance, that person that loses, they still deserve to get their hand raised because of everything they've done before this fight and for finally breaking down to accept this fight. So, yeah, man, when it comes down to it, great champions like this and what's not being said and just what we know they're capable of, and when they're sitting across from each other, just looking at each other eye to eye, you know, and they're just kind of studying each other, or they're that little face off, holding their belts, and what's not being said, that's respect, man. And to me, respect is the best promotion. But yeah, guys, let me know what y'all think in the comment section. All boxing, everything. Make sure y'all subscribe. I'm out. Peace.